Jacob. I wanted to leave you some feedback on SA2. I think I've liked your thesis from the beginning of this project. I think I've said it before, but just in case I haven't, and regardless of either, good work on that thesis. Like I said, I enjoy it a lot. And I think it's very clear, and I think you're absolutely right in what you attribute the artist's use of irony to make his or her point. I can't remember the name of the artist, and actually I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but anyway, I think that your discussion of audience is working. I think that your interpretation of the image is strong. You are short on the required length, but fortunately, I think that you have enough to work with that if you revise, and I encourage you to do so because I think that you can bring this grade up. I see. I see a lot of places to expand. And really, what I'd like you to focus on, excuse me, is your informal tone, and then also some of the underdeveloped ideas. And in some places, those things are directly related. So here's where you start with everything happening today with COVID-19 and America's response to it. It can be scary at times. I get what you mean there in general. But I think that number one, there are some issues in the sentence that could make this stronger. And number two, you are cramming a lot of information into one sentence. So I would recommend you to slow your pace down and be more specific. So in terms of the language, this is a little bit too informal with everything happening today. And then saying it twice in a row is repetitive. In addition, the reader is not sure what the it is. So your subject itself is so vague that we're not sure if America's scary, America's response is scary, if COVID-19 is scary, or the idea of everything is scary. And it might be all of that. That might indeed be the case. But the reader just can't tell for sure what you mean there. In addition, I get what you mean here with schools being open, but this is a little bit too informal. So I'd like you to rephrase your ideas here. So it's not. Sorry, I said that incorrectly. Rephrase this transitional phrase. So don't scrap the idea, but I think it's the idea of aiming for more formal wording. So here's what I'd like you to do. Instead of saying with everything happening, slow your pace down. Okay. So build the discussion. And here's also how you can expand. So you need to start with the idea of the pandemic, right? How did this happen? Right? What specifically is or was America's response to it? Right? And how has that been difficult and stressful for people? And then finally, you can narrow that down to how schools have reacted, right? So what you seem to be suggesting in all of this is that America, and I might be wrong, but this is what I'm basing on your response as a whole, is that America has kind of faltered in its response to COVID-19, in particular. The guidance or lack thereof that schools have received. Given that, schools, it's up to the individual school to decide what it's going to do. Whereas, I think actually, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say something about Fauci, but I can't say that for certain. Yeah, there are many people being put into a situation that's helped spread this virus even faster. So who are those people and what is the situation, right? I mean, you're kind of giving a hint to it, but you're being a little bit too broad. So slow down your pace here, right? Build the context at a much slower pace. Build in all those details that the reader really needs in order to understand what you're responding to. So I like what you're doing here. Art style is a little bit too vague. So I think maybe because you say it's clever in how it's laid out, I think you're talking about composition. So I would replace art style with composition. So I like this whole section right here, but I feel like what drops out of your discussion is the idea of irony. So I think you need to like fully explain what is ironic about the image and what it says. I love this point that you make about the color palette and how it affects mood, but you don't really get into that in much detail. So I wish that there was a full paragraph dedicated to an analysis of color and how it impacts the mood and perhaps how it relates to irony. So I agree with you on the purpose. I feel like this point about government is a separate idea. So I almost wish that you had this in its separate paragraph, and you got a little bit more specific, meaning that you say that it's up to the government to encourage and educate safe practices. But did that happen in this specific context? And if not, why? And what is the end results? So notice how you present this idea that in terms of the paper, the reader has no idea really what you mean. Meaning, I get that what you're saying is many people refuse to wear a mask because they feel that it is government overreach. I understand that. But in terms of the paper, you just kind of present the idea out of nowhere and walk away from it. So again, it's like you're moving too fast. And again, think about your organization here. How does the idea of government overreach connect to children and their parents, right? So I think that's another reason why this needs more development. Because and note that I don't disagree with what you're saying. I align with myself with you. I feel like it is my duty as a citizen to wear a mask to protect other people just as much as it does myself. And I do think that part of that is tied to the idea of protecting young people. But the organization of ideas here is a little unclear. I like these ideas here. I want to, and I wish that this was developed a little bit more. How do you feel that this is missing from the debate? And what debate? The debate in the image, or the debate on masks, or the debate on whether or not schools should be open? And then I wish that you returned back to something about the image itself in the conclusion to make this a fully rounded paper. So the ideas here are good. They're pretty good. It's just you need to expand on some of the undeveloped ideas. I think that would help out quite a bit. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.